Well, hello there. Sorry for the glare again, but I've got to keep the bins on for this one because this is a message to an old sparring partner of mine. I say sparring partner, he doesn't know he's a sparring partner because he's never seen me before. But we've spoken on a number of occasions through the medium that is radio. And I've got a few notes under the screen here that I want to read off, and I can't read them without the bins anymore. The eyes are completely wasted. So again, sorry for the glare. I just want to put a couple of facts down. I want to get them right because I know this guy deals in facts in a massive way. It's a quick message to a gentleman called Mr. Simon Jordan. Now, me and Simon have had a few chats over the last couple of years, none for a few months now, and we've had a lot of chats regarding one person, and I'd just like to revisit that one person and those chats. The reason being is I never ever got a chance to put a full case across in defence of this person. And the reason for that is when you ring into the radio, they've obviously only got limited time, they've got lots of other callers, they've got advertising, they've got other topics to discuss. But Simon was really hard on somebody that I think the world of over the period of a couple of years. And as I say, I rung in a few times to defend this person, but never could get a full point across. And you can't because for the reason I've just spoken about. But Simon could always get a full point across because if you're a pundit on then, it's your show and you've got the mic and you're working the buttons. You've got as long as you want on there before the caller has more to say. And it's regarded as it's an old topic, but I think it's worth looking at because I before we go any further, Simon, if ever you get to watch this, and I'm sure you won't, but if you do, I think you're brilliant. You're great at what you do. Okay? I mean, for me, in the 3 or 4 years I've listened to the show, I've not rung in for a good while now. I used to ring in on a pretty regular basis for 2 or 3 months. For those who've seen the earlier intro video, I think it was intro 2, the shorter intro video to this channel, which is brand new by the way, I did mention that for 3 or 4 months I rung in TalkSport on a regular basis. I must have rung in 16, 18, 19 times. I think it was 15 and 16 to be honest with you. And I was very successful on there. I regularly got through. They used to have a caller of the day at one time where you could get 100 quid worth of vouchers. I think I won that 4 times. So I must have sort of some kind of knowledge. I think having a laugh and a joke helped me as well. I actually won it for the first 3 calls I ever made, which I'm guessing not many would have done in the past. So as I say, I must have a reasonable opinion. And I do want to air this fully. But Simon, I've got no problems with you. I think you're great. I really do. I say there's loads of pundits on there. I think you're in the top 3. Yourself, Danny Murphy and Graham Souness, I think are brilliant. I mean, you're that good that if I was a pundit on there, which I'd never be because I've never got a sporting background, you'd still be in the top 4. So I'm not having a pop, I promise you I'm not. But it's concerning Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I know it's old news now because I know Ole's not with us anymore. But when he first got the gig, I was close to getting the gig, Simon, you said on a regular basis, is a B-rated manager. He's not the man for the job. He should not get the United gig. And I do understand to a great extent where you're coming from. I do. But at a time when I'm saying on this channel on a regular basis, nobody can get a break anymore. Nobody gets a door open for them. Nobody can get on the bottom ladder, the bottom rung of the ladder. It's difficult. It can even be difficult for some people within the media or within sporting circles. And that is why I thought Ollie should have been given a chance. And because he's a hero with me and many at United. And what I will say is, before we go into whether he deserved the B rating, what I will say is, I believe when Mourinho left, the club was in turmoil. Everybody had a long face. Everybody wasn't happy. He'd regularly fell out with various members of the squad and called them in public. We were playing unattractive, boring football. I think Ollie got us our identity back. We started to play with smiles on our faces, playing good, open, attractive football. So I thought he did well initially. All right, in the end, it failed, like I thought it may, but I hoped it wouldn't. But I always felt he was deserving of the chance. But you marked him, Simon, as a B-rated manager, and this is where I've got the facts underneath. Now, I know where you're coming from. He'd not served a lot of time in the big leagues. He'd not really earned his stripes. But for all he did poorly at Cardiff, at that time, anybody would have done. People before him and since him had done. They weren't spending money, they're struggling. I think he went there as a struggling club and left him as a struggling club. So I'm pretending that one never happened. But he went back to his home country at Molde, and what did he win? 2 Norwegian leagues and a Norwegian Cup. Well, they're one of the biggest teams there, so they may have won it with most anybody, but he won those. He also won an under-21 league at Man United against all the other top teams. He's also, at 6, 8, 10, I don't know how many years, working indirectly under Fergie. So he's no doubt learnt a lot from what is probably, in many people's eyes, the greatest manager of all time. In my eyes, definitely one of the greatest 2 or 3. So to me, yes, you may class as B rated, but he deserved a chance. He deserved a shot at it, especially after the run he went on as an interim manager. So I can understand why he got the gig. I'd give him the gig there before giving Lampard the gig that he just got at Chelsea. But anyway, that's by the by. You had him as a B-rated manager, and the reason I always thought you were out of order, Simon, and were wrong is this. You've got a gig there at TalkSport, and you're brilliant, by the way. You're really good, so I've nothing against you. I don't think, like Jim does, that you're the second coming. You know, when I was a kid, I'm not really into religion, but there was the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit. In Jim's eyes, I think there's Jesus, yourself, and Sir Rod, as he regularly calls him. You know, he's regularly telling us how everyone's stopping him on the street, telling us how great you are, you're this, you're that, the other. Yeah, you're really good. You might not be as good as Jim keeps saying, but you're really good. And you've took to it like a duck to water, and you've been brilliant. But you've got that gig there as an ex-football chairman. You'd never really been radio before. I know you've done bits on TalkSport, but you're not a radio person. You're an ex-football chairman. And you've been given a chance there. And you've took to it. And you've done really, really, really well. Who's to say Ollie couldn't have took to it and we'd be winning trophies now with United? It could have happened. You're not going to know unless you give him a chance, and we gave him a chance. Like you've been given a chance. But based on your ratings, and this is what I always wanted to say but never got the chance to say on the radio, look at yourself, Simon. You've come from chairman of Crystal Palace. I think you were there 4 years. I think you said you'd get them up into the Premier League within 5, and you did after 4. You went up. So if you work on your ratings, we'll give you an A rating for that. Within 1 year, you took them back down. So we'll give you a B there. You've dropped to B now. Okay? You had 9 managers, I believe. I think it was 9 in your time there. I think 5 of them you sacked. I think 5 walked of their own accord, which for me doesn't say a lot about the chairman when managers can't manage for him. So 9 came and went. We'll drop you down to a C there. You lost absolutely millions. It was your own money. You're allowed to lose it, and I think you're very big to have done it. You're very brave to have done it, and you don't mind speaking about it, letting people know. So I admire you for that, but we're dropping you down to a D there for that. So we've got Ollie, a B-rated manager, who got given a chance at United, did reasonably well, but ultimately, we can say he failed. I hate to say it, but he failed. He lost the gig anyway. We've got yourself as a D-rated chairman, who got the gig on TalkSport, something totally alien to him. Well, at least Ollie had been, footballing and managing football teams. You'd done nothing, and you've done really, really well. But without giving somebody that chance, how do we know how well they're going to do? And lastly, what I'll say to you, Simon, and this is the big 2 points that I'd like to make, one for yourself and one for others out there. Based on your ratings and the way you say things, you said B-rated managers should not get the top jobs in the country. And I do get where you're coming from. I really do. But I'll give you a couple here. Based on your ratings, what rating would you have given Bob Paisley when he was offered the job at Liverpool after he followed Shankly? Because if I'm right, and I think I am, and I've not looked deeply into this, but I think it was his first managerial job. I don't think he managed before. Now, I know he'd been under Shankly for many years, and Shankly, like Fergie, was brilliant, but he never managed anywhere. So in your eyes, using your scoring system, if Ollie is a B-rated manager who'd won 4 trophies, one at only under 21s, Paisley winning none must have been a D or an E. How did that one turn out? I think Paisley got 13 trophies in 9 years. Didn't do bad, did he? Fagan, I think Joe Fagan followed him. Only did a year. Again, what rating would he have been? He spent probably as long under Shankly and then years under Paisley. But I think he got 3 trophies in 1 year. Dalglish, I don't know whether his first gig was Liverpool or not. It may have been him. It may have been Blackburn. It may have been Newcastle. I can't remember. But I think he got 12 trophies. An ex-player. Based on all those 3, Simon, if you'd have been in charge of that club of Liverpool at that time, you would never have given those 3 managers a job. If you were in charge of the big club, which Liverpool were. The same way if you were in charge at Manchester United, the big, big club that they were, Ollie wouldn't have got the job. Now, all I would ask of you, Simon, is do you still think that a B-rated manager in your eyes should not get the main gig? Because ultimately, it didn't work with Ollie, but it worked with Paisley and Fagan. Liverpool fans, what do you think? Is Simon right? Would you have rather, after Shanks, not seen Paisley and Fagan and Dalglish managing your team? I think I know the answer to that. I believe, Simon, everybody should get a chance. Give them a chance first before we make an opinion. Because it worked with Paisley, Fagan and Dalglish, and it's worked with you there, Simon. It didn't work with Ollie, it was unfortunate, but I still maintain he did a good job, and I still maintain what he had to cope with after Mourinho left was massive headaches. As I say, players with chins on the floor, nobody happy, fans not happy, playing games where we don't only park the bus but we take the wheels off the bus as well. You know, it was boring, horrible football. After Van Gaal, it wasn't as bad as Van Gaal, but it wasn't far off. But at least Van Gaal had put an arm around a few people and got on with a few of the players there. Mourinho never did. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Maybe I'm wrong, Simon. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe one day on the radio I'll ring up and you'll let me know. But I think you were wrong. Okay, that's it from me.